A pleasant good evening to you all. I am Shane Harris. Now, initially, there was supposed to be an episode back on Friday night, but apparently that never got to happen. All due to a few things. A, work obligations, so I had to push the video back, and B, the actions that happened yesterday at the Super Bowl. Yes, folks, I'm literally taped this episode in advance. So congrats to whoever won. Wink, wink. So it was best for me to have this episode air on Monday night. So everyone can finally reorganize themselves back to normal before I go hog wild for the Daytona 500 weekend beginning this Friday. With this Friday, Shane Harris Tonight being about a show that's going to be just as intriguing. But first, we are back in America for this episode. Hooray! But it's for a character that you just don't expect. Until now. Shane Harris Tonight will focus on Kick Buttowski, the suburban daredevil. Now, this series was definitely in my radar when it came to a Shane Harris Tonight level of cartoon, simply because of, well, everything. The competition it was up against, the circumstances that faced it, and of course, the way the show was handled from start to finish. Initially, the show was supposed to be a little thing called Kid Knievel. And how do I know about it? Well, the pilot was leaked onto the internet, of course. And the character was supposed to, and this pint-sized, like, little SOB, apparently, can't think of words right now, was supposed to be this crazy character that lived without any rules. And this character seemed perfect. And they decided to make him digitally animated for the pilot and also for the final product. Initially, his outfit was similar to the final build, except there were blue stars on each side, and his gloves received different colors. Red, white, and blue. To mimic Evel Knievel, the original American Daredevil from my father's glory days. But unfortunately, the estate and rights holders of said Evel Knievel, like likeness and stuff, came knocking on Sandro Casaro's door and told him, I like your idea, but you cannot do that with the last name of Knievel. So, the creator decided to make a few changes. Some were a bit minor. The main render ditched the stars, changed his gloves to match the color of his boots, and changed the name. The name became Kick Buttowski, with Kick Butt being the pun in the name. And with the series' debut in 2010, this would eventually make it the first Disney XD original, not some Jetix carryover. They had a surprise up their sleeve for the character, his voice. You just don't expect someone from Diagnosis Murder or the Delinquents to voice the main character. That was the case of Mr. Charlie Schlatter, the 1986 Ferris Bueller TV show flop of a star that later became a very successful person through Diagnosis Murder and, of course, this very cartoon. And for this cartoon, it is not storyline driven, it's episodic. So, no crazy amount of lore here. And he'll get to deal with so many other different characters. His best friend, Gunther is literally connected to Vikings somehow. You just gotta watch the show. And he apparently has a love interest that sort of like a love-hate relationship with another character in question. Her name's Kendall. And if you've been on the internet as of late, Kick X Kendall is a popular subject within the Disney TVA universe. Because what's life to the extreme without a lot of drama? And trust me, you'll like it. The show did feature plenty of guests along the way, one of them being former SportsCenter anchor and one of the original hosts of the ABC version of Wipeout, John Anderson, who would also use SportsCenter to promote this show. And also, ESPN and ABC try to use this series as a great marketing tool for the X Games, because they had some driver in a Subaru have Kick Buttowski on the car for the X Games' Rallycross division. So it was kind of neat, but the driver, he didn't sell it well in terms of cutting a promo, to sell the product. Yeah. The series ran from 2010 to 2012, only 2 seasons, and it was against some very stiff competition. Majority of it came from either Disney XD's live-action programming, or it was against Phineas and Ferb. That juggernaut, which is coming back with new episodes this summer on the main Disney Channel. So, the series, unfortunately, had tough ratings issues, time slots that were piss poor, and just like my fellow OKKO, it was subjected to Sunday afternoons, the one place where cartoons go to die in this generation, according to so many different cartoon fans and viewers alike. Now, the selling point for this series is quite simple, and that is the way the character is, and also the way the show is animated. It's digitally animated, and when they do a 360 spin around the character in slow motion, it is fluid as all hell. Trust me. And its theme music is heavily inspired by AC/DC's TNT, with composer Andy Sturmer with the magic wand. And if you're wondering if there's any fan comics around this, the answer is yes. Welcome to Mellowbrook happens to be the name of the series of fan-made projects based around this franchise, and it's massively popular, especially if you've seen some of the fan-dubbed stuff that are presented in Latin American Spanish here on YouTube. So it's pretty fun, and I've actually read that before in its original English format, and I gotta say, adding cuss words to his jargon is pretty much the perfect addition. And they also added a lot more value to a one-off character, which I am not spoiling because you gotta read the Welcome to Mellowbrook comic and watch the show as well. By the way, the Mellowbrook comic is obviously not official, but canon stuff, questionable, I don't know. So, I give the series a pretty high rating. So, I am pretty happy about this series. I love it. I know there's people who love it. It's a blast. Definitely. So, on the next episode of Shane Harris Tonight, we'll move from one character and no rules to a full-fledged group of kids with no rules. Because pack your bags, we're going up to Canada. The next episode of Shane Harris Tonight will focus on GarageBand. At last, the third and final of the 3 Lion Smith cartoons that are part of Shane Harris Tonight. We'll get to that this Friday to kick off the Daytona 500 weekend on Fox. Till then, I'm Shane Harris. Enjoy the week, and we'll see you then. Good night.